Chapter that we're on is called Talent Not Required. One of the things that I like about this chapter is that it's all about prioritizing the important things in your life and removing everything else. And when that time comes, to give your 100% focus to that priority. And here's what I want you to get hyper focused on. The fact that this chapter says talent not required. It says talent not required. So any of you that think that you have to have a certain personality to be successful in real estate or in whatever your chosen entrepreneurial business is, whether it's flipping homes, whether it's investing, whether it's you own a retail store, maybe you own a hardware store, or whatever it is that you are doing in life. If someone says you have to have a certain personality style, a certain talent, a certain this or that, now maybe, it's not going to come as easy to you as someone who might have a personality that's more predisposed for it. But talent is not required to be successful in anything. Tara just said it. What's required is focus. To do what it is that you should do, must do, over what you want to do. Over what we want to do. And because I'm in real estate, I can only speak to the real estate industry, but how much time do we spend trying to figure out how to do everything except make a phone call? Right? I mean, let's think about that. How much time do we spend trying to figure out how to mail out the perfect letter or create the perfect post for Facebook or mail out the perfect postcard or create the perfect smart plan in our CRM, when if you would just pick up the friggin' phone? Oh my goodness. Right? And so what happens is that we think, oh, well, this person is better on social media than I am, or this person is better at videos than I am, or this person has got more leverage than I do, so they have a bigger farm because they can more consistently farm on the area that they're farming. When guys, really, it's just picking up the phone and talking to people, right? And we're so hung up around that, and legitimately hung up around it, because we think to ourselves, I wouldn't want someone calling me. I wouldn't want someone knocking on my door. And we put what we feel on other people. And when we put what we feel on other people, the person that actually does it is the one who gets the business. And that person is not more talented than you. Hear me say this. That person is not more talented than you are. They just they're focused exactly what Goggins said here is, he says they focused on the important thing and they removed everything else. They focused on the important thing. Amanda Finning says, don't make up excuses. Find a way to make up the distance. I love that. Don't make excuses. Amanda, take yourself off mute if you would. You knew I was going to do it. And tell me, what does that mean? What does that mean to you?
Well, like you were saying, there's always going to be somebody that's better than you at multiple things. So you just have to work extremely hard and make up that gap. So I don't like picking up the phone, but I've been doing it and it's working. It's not something I want to do. There's always people better than me, but I'm doing it. So.
And it's working. It's working, right? It's the way that you build a business. Stacy Cotter says in the chat box, done is better than perfect. Cotter, you got that right. because
I
perfection.
tell that to Corey sometimes because he hyper focuses on things, and I'm like, sorry to call you out, Corey, but I've told him on several occasions, done is getting something done is better than perfect.
Perfection is the enemy of progress and profit. Write that down. Perfection is the enemy of progress and profit. Because while you're waiting to get it perfect and get it right, someone else has already got it. And they got it messy.
One more time, Becky. Perfection is the enemy of progress
and profit. Profit. You wait until your script is so good to make the call when you should just make the call. Because somebody else is going to make the call and they're going to have a conversation that's going to be way, way away from perfect. And they're still going to be in relationship. All right, Dina, you have something to say. And then I want to ask Zach and Corey to speak here a little bit on this. Dina, go ahead.
Yeah, as you guys were talking, it reminds me of the 80-20 that Gary talks about all the time. But my brain is not awake enough right now to remember what that is. But I just think that is perfect.
Principle. Pareto's principle. 80-20 rule.
That's all I have to say.
So the 80-20 rule means that, Dina, I love it that you brought that up. Thank you so much. The 80-20 rule means that 20% of your activity leads to 80% of your results. Let me tell you, when I sit down and I coach agents outside of Florida, I have agents that I coach in other states. And when I sit down and do the initial analysis with them on their business, and we sit down and we look at the last 12 months where their business came from, 9 times out of 10, it is from their database. It's from calling their database. And when you calling their database. So then the next thing is if you're so good at getting business from your database, then that means you need to add to your database, which you only add to your database by talking to people. So if you just get up every day and you say, I'm going to talk to the secret of real estate, Corey, Zach, tell me if I'm wrong here. The secret of real estate is I get up every day and I talk to X number of people every day about real estate. And I add X number of new people into my database every week with conversations that I've had about real estate. And then all of a sudden, I'm closing 36 transactions a year, or I'm closing 15 million a year before I even know it. And so when I'm coaching agents, it's not real quote unquote sexy. I'm just going to tell you, it's how many calls did you make? How many people did you talk to? How many people did you add to your database? Right? Because that being done over time every single day lends 80% of your results. We have a lot of agents that are starting a cold call now, calling expireds, calling FSBOs. And the reason is because you must talk to people. You must talk to people if you want to get listings. You must door knock. Hannah Goldstein, she's got a $4 million listing, door knocking. Right? And that's not just the only one. There's others out there. It's just not a lot of people are door knocking right now. Why not? Got to talk to people. Zach, Corey, let me hear from you. What you think? Talent not required.
I'll go. I think David takes it a whole lot further than just the 80-20 too. I think everybody knows, like for us, yeah, you got to prospect. Yeah, you got to door knock. You have to work out if you're going to get ready for the ultra triathlon. I mean, that part, I think everybody gets. I think what David pulls out in his book is what's stopping everybody from doing that. Mm-hmm. And that's where I think this book for all of us, it's like Hannah, and I'll blame myself. I'll point myself out. I'll say Hannah just because you said Hannah. It's like, well, why isn't she out door knocking 5 hours a day now then? It's because that voice that creeps in, that leads us to comfort, that leads us away from stuff that's not hard, and not mastering that voice in our head. It's like, why don't we all crush every day? Because we all know, like, hey, I need to eat healthy, I need to get up and work out, I need to prospect, we all know that. There's nothing. I think what he gets into is, how do you control your head? And I think this is where when you compartmentalize what the task you're going to do, listen to that friggin' voice. It starts screaming at you as soon as you start it. Like, Corey, how many times when you start prospecting, do you all of a sudden you get, I got to go pee, or I'm going to go get something to drink, or like something else kind of tries to pull you away? And that's your brain trying to protect you, trying to lead you away from something uncomfortable. So all this other crap starts coming in your head when you're like, okay, I'm focused, I got 4 hours to do this. And all of a sudden we're like, how the hell did I just end up here? I started out prospecting and now I'm lost in a Facebook black hole, And it's, for him, for what I get with him is that you force yourself to do hard stuff every day, all the way through it. And like with him, Corey's favorite quote came up, we talked about it this morning, is he's pushing himself. And when he's really hurting, he starts questioning. All this stuff starts coming into his head. Why am I doing this? Why am I here? Why am I this and that? But his focus and his true self was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. I prepared for it. And then boom, here comes that voice again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think once you'll never master, it'll never go away. The more you do it, the better you get. And it's like, it's all decisions. It's all choices. So the people that are crushing it are the ones that are just making the choice. It's not talent. They're just choosing to do whatever that activity is more than someone else. So that's what I get out of this one big time. It's like, I've got all these things I want to do and need to do. And the days I don't, I'm choosing not to, but it's me leading myself away, sometimes unintentionally, not just, so.
Zach, I love what you just said, because what you're saying is that, guys, you may know what you're supposed to do and you may know what you need to get up and do every day, but when that piece in the back of your brain that actually tries to keep you from hurting, it doesn't understand what the stimulus is. Even if the stimulus is a good thing and it's going to help you, because it's something you don't want to do, your brain is trying to get you to run away from it. And so the goal here with this chapter is, what he's talking about is really pushing through that and overcoming the voice in your head that says stop. Oh, look at that. Tara's got the workbook. I love that.
Awesome.
Love that. I'm going to get that. I didn't even know it existed. Corey, what is your thought?
Well, by now you guys probably understand that I like my motivational quotes, right? So I don't know if you can see this one, right? Is it backwards? I'm not really sure.
No,
but it
it's right.
Right? Desire is the great equalizer, right? And so to me, I'm going to brag on myself here for a minute, which is, kind of hard, but my work ethic, I believe my work ethic is the single most factor in a majority of my accomplishments, right? Do I want to be on the phones every morning? No, but I know, time on task over time, putting in the effort, putting in the work every single solitary day is going to continue my, my success. And I don't know if I was, I think I was taught a pretty good work ethic from an early age, right? So I attribute most of my successes from doing that. The other thing that I'll mention here, directly from the book, right? And this is David Goggins saying, to me, right? So this is David Goggins. To me, a 40-hour work week is 40% effort, right? Because he talked about taking the governor off. So yeah, 40-hour week. Okay. It sounds, man, you work a lot, but when there's 168 hours in a week, that means you have the hours to put in the extra time, right? Without skipping at work or exercise or whatever it is, right? He goes on to say it means scheduling your life like you're on a 24-hour mission every single solitary day, right? Analyze your schedule, kill your empty habits, burn out the bullshit, and see what's left.
You know, Corey, I think what you just said is that we all have the same amount of hours in a week. And when you look at the ones that get more done than the others, it's just because they've gone through and they've emptied their calendar of the stuff that makes no difference, right? Or little difference.
Yeah.
And it's all a choice. It's all a choice. Sorry, Corey, go ahead.
I'm stepping all over you too. I apologize. I honestly feel like because I'm up at 4:30 in the morning and because I'm in the office generally, 8:30 at the absolute latest, I honestly feel like by 12 o'clock, I've gotten more accomplished than 95% of my competition. And that's all I have to go on. I'm not, God's gift to real estate or, script master or any of these things. I'm just going to outwork my competition until I can't do it any longer. And right now I'm working on how to, leverage some of that.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing, guys. Here's what I know is that I look at it this way. If you wake up every day and you have to go punch a time clock, and when you're punching that time clock and you're working that job, if you have projects that are not complete, that you have a deadline to get done, first of all, when you're punching a time clock, are you working a 40-hour week? Raise your hand. The answer is, well, for most people, the answer is yes. I mean, it depends. Are you working 40 plus hours a week? Let me change that. Are you working 40 plus hours a week when you're punching a time clock? Okay, yes, sorry. So my point is why do we do it? Well, we have a boss who's watching us and who's holding us accountable. And then we move into the real estate industry or some kind of entrepreneurial industry where we have more freedom of choice. And therefore, we kind of take a step back and we act differently in that. And what I love about what Corey just said is he said, no, I'm going to outwork everyone. I'm making a choice to do it. And I'm going to outwork my competition because I'm going to get my unfair share for my family and for myself. And really, that's what it comes down to, right, Zach? If we don't know who we're doing it for, and we don't have a strong understanding of that, and it's not deep within our heart, we're going to make choices that don't serve us, right? Oh, I can't hear you.
Were you asking me? I'm sorry.
Yep, I did.
No, you're 100% right. I think that's having that end game or the goal in mind of why you're doing what you're doing. That's what pulls you through when you feel yourself starting to go sideways, away from task. It's like for Corey, it's that end goal of whatever it is. I guess you call it the motivation part or the dream and goal part. Sometimes it's just the goal of outworking your competition. You know what I mean? Just how far can I push myself? But you have to have that end goal to the why. I think the why is, and sometimes just do it and the why will show up. You don't always need the why also. You just, if you have the task written down, what you need to do, don't wait for the why to kick in. Sometimes the why will show up and be something different because you're at a different place.
Yeah. So I like to say, focus on today, not tomorrow. Today, you have these tasks to get done, get them done, push through. Every single one of us knows that the one thing we need to do when we get off this call right now is we need to lead generate. And if you make a decision to do something else, then it's your choice to do something else. Just own it. Just own it. Own it that you made a choice to do something else, or make a choice to lead generate, move your business forward so that you can be done with that task and you can move on to the things, right, Tara, that you want to do, not what you must do. Focus on what you must do this morning. And don't live in self-condemnation over it either. Just understand you're making a choice to or making a choice not to. And it's like Zach said, it's the voice in your head that you have to overcome to do what you know is the 20% that you should do right now today. So tell that voice in your head, no, I'm going to do this, because doing this every single day means I'm going to have the things that I want to have for the people that I want to give it to, or for yourself. If you're going on vacation a month and a half from now, or excuse me, a month from now, Diane, and you're going to do certain lead generation every day, you're going to have to lead generate on vacation, right? I mean, we our short-term goals, set short-term goals for yourself. All right, tomorrow, uncommon against uncommon. So this chapter is really cool, and he talks about what it means to be uncommon among the uncommon. It's a really cool chapter, guys. I've listened to half of it. I haven't gotten through all of it, I'll be honest with you, and I'm really excited about it tomorrow morning. Terry, Light, have an amazing day. You guys make a choice today that you are going to get off this call and you're going to focus on your 20% that are going to lead to the 80% of your results. Focus on your 20% that are going to lead to the 80% of your results, and just do it. Just go for it. What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? But you have everything to gain. So I look forward to seeing you all here tomorrow morning. Have a great morning of lead generation and a great afternoon. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.